In this podcast, Theo Vaughan introduces Tim Fletcher, a speaker, counselor, and researcher in the field of complex trauma. Fletcher is known for his insightful videos on YouTube, where he discusses trauma and its impact on individuals. Fletcher explains that trauma occurs when a child experiences pain that they are unable to handle, leading to internal wounds. Complex trauma, on the other hand, is characterized by ongoing danger and stress, resulting in the child being in a constant state of fight, flight, or freeze response. This type of trauma often stems from abuse or neglect, with neglect being equally damaging as abuse in shaping a child's emotional well-being. Individuals who have experienced complex trauma may struggle with issues such as a lack of self-identity, people-pleasing tendencies, anger problems, authority issues, control and manipulation issues, lying, fear of failure, fear of change, fear of success, fear of intimacy, fear of abandonment, and trust issues. These symptoms stem from the core belief that something is wrong with them, leading to a negative self-identity. Complex trauma can significantly impact relationships, as individuals may struggle with intimacy, trust, and fear of rejection. The fear of abandonment can also lead to difficulties in forming and maintaining healthy connections with others. The negative self-identity created by trauma can manifest in self-sabotaging behaviors and a constant inner critic that feeds feelings of shame and inadequacy. Children who experience complex trauma often develop maladaptations as coping mechanisms to navigate their challenging environments. These maladaptations, such as people-pleasing, perfectionism, and avoidance of intimacy, may initially serve as survival strategies, but can later become detrimental to their well-being. Early childhood experiences play a crucial role in shaping an individual's response to trauma. Children who do not receive adequate emotional support and regulation from caregivers may struggle to develop a sense of safety and self-identity. The absence of a co-regulator, such as a calm and nurturing parent, can hinder the child's ability to regulate their own nervous system and cope with stress effectively. Vaughan shares personal experiences related to his mother's emotional unavailability during his childhood. He describes how this lack of emotional connection affected his ability to form intimate relationships and regulate his emotions as an adult. Vaughan shares personal experiences related to his mother's emotional unavailability during his childhood. He describes how this lack of emotional connection affected his ability to form intimate relationships and regulate his emotions as an adult. The host's vulnerability highlights the long-lasting impact of childhood trauma on one's mental and emotional well-being. Fletcher continues by explaining the physiological responses to danger, such as the release of cortisol and adrenaline, which can lead to fight or flight reactions. However, in cases where a child is too small to fight or flee, the brain may produce opioids, leading to a freeze response. This freeze response can result in dissociation and a focus on meeting the needs of others to avoid harm. He explains how individuals with complex trauma may develop a fawning response, where they prioritize others' emotions over their own. This can lead to difficulties in recognizing and expressing their own emotions, as they are more attuned to the feelings of others. Fletcher discusses how gaslighting, where individuals are made to feel responsible for others' emotions, can impact relationships. He also touches on oppositional defiance, which may arise as a response to unhealthy environments. While oppositional defiance is often pathologized, Fletcher emphasizes that it can stem from a desire to assert one's identity and resist harmful influences. Vaughan shares his personal experiences with complex trauma, including struggles with perfectionism, self-pity, and a fear of abandonment. He reflects on how these patterns have influenced his relationships, leading to challenges with trust, intimacy, and communication. He also explores the concept of fake intimacy and the role of unrealistic expectations in shaping his behavior. Fletcher explains that complex trauma often resides in the subconscious mind, making it challenging for individuals to identify and address. Self-awareness is crucial in recognizing the characteristics and patterns of trauma. Healing from complex trauma requires reprocessing the trauma with the help of tools and support from a safe community. Reparenting, or learning healthy behaviors and connections, is essential in the healing process. Fletcher shares his journey of recovery from burnout and depression, highlighting the importance of setting boundaries and making significant changes to prioritize mental health. He emphasizes the need to address root issues, such as shame, lack of trust, and fear of intimacy, to foster healthy relationships. Shame is a significant aspect of complex trauma, stemming from a distorted parent-child relationship. Fletcher distinguishes between healthy shame, which is akin to guilt for actions that violate love, and toxic shame, which is about feeling inherently flawed. False guilt, instilled by others, contributes to toxic shame. Healing from shame involves identifying and challenging the lies that fuel feelings of inadequacy. The discussion delves into the impact of parenting on the transmission of trauma across generations. Parents who have experienced trauma may unintentionally pass on harmful patterns and behaviors to their children. The realization of this cycle can prompt individuals to seek help and break the cycle of trauma within their families. The presence of children often serves as a wake-up call, highlighting the need for healing and growth to create a healthier environment for the next generation. Fletcher suggests that Western cultures, including America, are more advanced in understanding and addressing complex trauma compared to other societies. The increasing prevalence of mental health issues may be attributed to a greater awareness of trauma and its effects on individuals. Advances in scientific research on the brain and trauma have contributed to a shift in how trauma is perceived and treated. Safe connections and environments where individuals can openly discuss and process their trauma are essential for healing. Fletcher introduces the idea of connecting with one's inner child, a part of oneself that may have been neglected or wounded during childhood. He suggests various methods, such as visualization, reflection on childhood memories, and identifying triggers to establish a connection with the inner child. He emphasizes the importance of nurturing and healing the inner child as a crucial step towards personal growth and emotional well-being. Fletcher discusses the Adverse Childhood Experiences quiz, which assesses the impact of traumatic childhood experiences on individuals' health and well-being. He explains how the quiz measures various forms of abuse, neglect, and family dysfunction, highlighting the correlation between adverse childhood experiences and mental health issues, addiction, and physical health problems. Despite the challenges posed by childhood trauma, Fletcher offers hope for individuals seeking healing and personal growth. He acknowledges that overcoming childhood trauma requires time, effort, and self-reflection, but shares examples of individuals who have transformed their lives through therapy, support, and self-awareness, demonstrating that healing is possible with dedication and perseverance. Fletcher delves into the neuroscience behind coping mechanisms, such as addiction and self-soothing behaviors. He explains how the brain releases chemicals like dopamine and opioids in response to soothing activities, leading individuals to seek comfort in harmful behaviors like substance abuse or compulsive habits. Fletcher highlights the importance of understanding the underlying reasons for coping mechanisms and addressing the root causes of trauma. Fletcher emphasizes the importance of addressing past trauma in order to heal and move forward. He mentions that individuals need to validate their experiences, grieve their losses, and process their emotions in order to make space for healing. He also discusses the concept of forgiveness, stating that it is a natural outcome of the healing process, rather than something that can be forced. Throughout the podcast, Fletcher stresses the importance of seeking help and support in addressing complex trauma. He discusses the various programs and resources available to individuals, including self-study courses, workshops, and one-on-one coaching.